Email deliverability. Hiya, Adam Payne here with the Video Marketing Insider, and in today's video we're going to talk all about how you can get more of your emails into people's inboxes and not in the promotions tab, spam folder or junk box. Now, this is really important because as you build a list, you want people to be able to see your emails, click on them, open, read and take action, and of course they can't do that if they're always getting into the spam folder. So I'm going to give you some concrete steps that you can take action on moving forward. This video is really designed for people that use one of the more popular autoresponders, for example, Aweber, GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, and those kind of things. It's not designed for people that are using Amazon or SendGrid or who are more advanced. Now, one thing I'd like to say is that whatever email autoresponder you're currently using, you should really stick with that. One of the worst bits of advice that people receive is if you're getting bad results with GetResponse, switch to Aweber. If you're getting bad results with Aweber, switch to MailChimp. The same problems are just going to follow you around because you're obviously doing things slightly wrong or you've not got certain things set up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at some concrete steps that you can take to improve your email deliverability. So when we talk about traffic and email deliverability, it really comes down to the intent of the person that visits the opt-in page. If somebody comes to your opt-in page because they've searched for a specific phrase on Google or YouTube, they've watched already your content, and then they've opted into a list of yours, they've proven that they're clearly interested in that topic because they've had to jump through some hoops, and they were the person that actually started the process by searching for something. Now, if you're getting people to your opt-in page through paid traffic, for example, Facebook ads or Bing ads or YouTube ads, that can still be good, but it's not as good as organic traffic because you've had to basically interrupt someone's experience. Somebody comes to Facebook, they're scrolling through the newsfeed, they see your ad because of how you've set up your ad. Now, they might be interested, they might opt in, but then they kind of may go back to Facebook and carry on what they're doing and forget that your emails have been sent to the inbox. So sometimes these things can get missed. The worst kind of traffic, in my opinion, is something like a solo ad. If you're running solo ad traffic and you're paying somebody to send out an email that doesn't really know who you are, they opt in, they're probably opted into hundreds of these different things before, you're probably going to find that the majority of those people are not going to be very engaged in what you have to say. And if you have a bunch of people on your list through solo ads, you're going to really have to focus on some of the other methods that I'm going to talk about in this video, because that's probably the worst kind of traffic that you can have when it comes to getting your emails delivered inside of the inbox. So it really is important to think about your content strategy and how you are going to drive traffic to your opt-in pages. So what else can you think about when it comes to delivering emails better? One thing that I recommend that you do fairly regularly is to clean your list. So when we say clean a list, it basically means using a third-party service to look at all of the emails that are on your autoresponder and weed out the emails that someone's just made up or the emails that have got a bad reputation that can affect your deliverability. Now, there are lots of different services out there. The one that I tend to use is called X-Verify. We're inside of the dashboard now. And it's basically you pay as you go. So you don't have to have any ongoing recurring billing. You only pay when you use it. So I'm inside of my X-Verify account and I've already connected this to my Aweber. You can see that my Aweber is integrated here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click on Aweber and it's going to get one of my lists from my email service provider, and I'll just choose a random list. So I'll choose this broadcast newsletter and I will click verify list. So we have three options. We can clean the file, we can clean and update, or we can cancel. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on clean file and it's going to add that list and it's going to run it through its system. And it's head here. The list is added in a batch queue and we will update you. Bit of dodgy English there, once your list is imported. So what's going to basically happen is you'll get a notification that your list has been done, and then it will tell you which email addresses are risky, and it'll give you a reason. So for example, it may say that this is a fake email address, or this email address is connected with somebody that has a high complaint rate. And you can make a choice inside of, in this case, X-Verify, to remove that email address from your system. And the more email addresses you remove from your system, the better your deliverability is going to be, because you're going to get a much better bounce, you're going to improve your bounce rate if that's a problem, and you're going to remove email addresses that just basically have negativity connected to them. So whether you use Xverify or not, it doesn't matter. You should definitely use one of these services. So what else can we do to improve our email deliverability? So in this case, we're going to look at how to verify an email address that you use to send messages to your subscribers inside of Aweber. So you want to log into your Aweber account, hover over your name up here and come down to my account. And then from this section here, locate domains and addresses. Now you may have a bunch of emails that you haven't verified, but for this particular video, I've created a new email address, which I'm going to paste in here. And then I'm going to click on send verification. So now Aweber has sent an email to that address. So I have to go over to that address and I'm going to have to click a link in order to verify that this is me. So we'll click on done. I'm going to pause the video and then I'm going to go and log into that email account. So 1 second. Okay, so we can see that the email has been sent. So I'm going to click on verify email address. And that should take me to Aweber. Bingo, that's done. So you may go to your account or close this page. I'm going to come back over to my account and I'm going to scroll right the way down to the bottom to that new address, which says pending. Then I'm going to hit refresh. And we can now see that the domain is verified. Okay, so let's look at how to set up your DKIM and SPF settings. Now, if we hover over this little information mark, it basically says that these are advanced deliverability settings that become enabled when you have the correct DNS record set up with your web hosting provider. Now, in order for you to set this up, you're going to need to log into where your domain is registered. Now, that might be Namecheap, GoDaddy, or somewhere else, or if you're like me, you use Cloudflare as an extra layer of protection. So while I'm going to show you how to do it inside of Cloudflare, it basically is the same process for GoDaddy, Namecheap, etc. So let's click on Setup Instructions, and we'll see that we've got this one checked by default. But as we come down, we need to do a few things. So let's do step 2 first. Add 3 CNAME records to set up DKIM. Now that might sound like gobbledygook, it doesn't matter, just follow along, and it's basically copying and pasting some stuff. So I'm going to go over to Cloudflare where I have this domain. So I'm going to log on to Cloudflare. Here we are over at Cloudflare for the domain in question, and you want to navigate to your DNS section. Now we need to, if we go back over to Aweber, we need to add 3 CNAME records to set up DKIM. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click on add record, and under type we'll click once and we'll just click on CNAME. Now we need to fill out the name and the target. So for the name, we just have to copy this thing here. So we'll click on this, and we'll come back and we'll paste it in here. Then we'll come to target, we'll come back to Aweber, and we need to click on this. So we're going to click on this, click it again to make sure it's copied. Then we'll come back and we'll paste that in there. For some reason that didn't copy properly, so I'm just going to copy it again. Okay, bingo, so that's good. Now we're going to turn the proxy status to off, and we're going to hit save. We've got that in here, you see. Now we just need to do that twice more, and we just need to do it for this and this. I'm going to pause the video and do exactly the same process. So you can see now we have 3 CNAME records. So we'll go back over to Aweber, and we're going to click on refresh. And we can see that this one, for some reason, is not installed. Okay, so now you can see that it has been installed. I just went back over to Cloudflare, removed this CNAME and re-added it, and then it was installed again. So anyway, it's working now. So we're going to come down here, and the last section we need to do is to add 1 TXT record to set up SPF. So we're going to come back over to Cloudflare. And if we scroll down, we will see that we already have this TXT. Now, you won't have this underscore DMARC one. This is more advanced, and I'll talk about this at the end of the video. But if you click on this one here, you will see that you already have this string in here. So all we're going to need to do is come over here, and we're going to need to copy this thing here. So we're going to copy this. We're going to come back over, and we're going to paste it in. No spaces whatsoever, okay? Don't add a space. Then just hit save. Then we're going to come back over here and we're going to hit refresh. And it's done. So that is done. So that is how you would do that inside of Cloudflare. So now we have our DKIM and SPF records set up, which are a little bit more advanced. But once they're done, they're done. And this really does help with your email deliverability. So what's the next thing you can do? One thing you can do is avoid using spam trigger words. There are certain words that can trigger your email to go into the spam folder or the promotions tab. Now, there are lots of different articles, lots of different resources and websites. I'm going to show you one right now that give you all of these lists of words. Now, to be perfectly honest, you've got to take these with a pinch of salt, because I've used tons of these words in my emails and they've not gone to the spam folder before, but I can see what they're saying. And if you are finding that your emails are going to the spam folder, then you may want to reread them and see if you're using these words in your email. So you can see there's a ton of words here. I'm not going to go through all of them. Best price, best offer. I mean, I've used the word boss in my emails many times. So again, you've got to take these with a pinch of salt, but there are tons and tons of words that could potentially trigger the spam folder. So that is just something for you to consider if you do find that your emails more often than not are going into the spam folder. Maybe you are using these kind of words in your emails. So what else can we do? Well, one thing that you should always do is you should preview and test your email before you schedule it as a broadcast or a follow-up email, or before you basically send it out to your email list. And again, the how to do this is going to be slightly different depending on the autoresponder you use. But inside of Aweber, I've just typed in this sample email. So I've got a really short title or subject line, and then we've got just a very brief message just to show you how to do this. Now, rather than me sending this message straight away, first of all, I'll hit save so I can save it. Then I'll hit preview and test. And what you can do here is you can test this to different email addresses. Now, what I recommend you do is you send one to a Gmail, maybe one to a Yahoo as an example, and you might want to test it with email addresses that you use normally, as well as email addresses that you rarely use, just to ensure that it does appear in the primary inbox for the different email addresses that you use. So I'm just going to use this Gmail as an example. So I'm going to hit send test message, and your test message is on its way. So let me pause the video and then I'll go into my Gmail account and see where that email ended up. So here we are over at Gmail, and you can see that it's in the primary email inbox. So this works well for me. Now, if this were in the promotions tab, then I'd have to figure out why. I'd have to go back to the message, maybe change things around, change the wording, change the subject line. But it all really is common sense. Now, if I come back over to my email, I'll give you a few extra tips. When we receive emails from friends, from family, emails are written in a specific way. They don't use tons of colours. They don't use all caps. They don't add, 10 different links in their emails. That's not how a normal person sends emails. So if you're using all caps, if you're using a variety of different fonts and colours, and you've got, tons of links in here, it's going to send warnings. And you may get away with it every now and then, but it is going to send warnings, and your emails are going to eventually be in the promotions tab. Another bonus tip is to actually write engaging emails, emails that are fun, that are interesting, and that stand out. Because if you do that, your emails are more likely to get opened. And once your emails are opened by your various recipients, that is a positive signal that your emails are important to that person, and there's much more chance of your emails getting into the inbox in the future. If your emails are boring, hypey, salesy, don't really offer much value, then they're going to end up in the promotions tab because people are not going to want to read them. And once they're in the promotions tab 2 or 3 or 4 times, it's very, very difficult to suddenly get back into that person's primary inbox. So take the time to write good quality, fun emails. Now, if you'd like to learn how to do that, then there'll be a link in the description where I have a very reasonable course which teaches all of that stuff. How to write fun, engaging emails that actually convert. So there'll be a link in the description for that. Other than that, I just want to thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave them below. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions or you need more clarification, go and watch the video once more. Over on the right-hand side, we have some more trainings and reviews, so go and watch those as well. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and hit the bell notification. Other than that, ask any questions you've got below, and I'll see you soon.